Tulip returns from the dead and goes looking for revenge. Jessie tries to make a deal with the Grail, and Hair Stars journeys through religion. Plus, Grannie L'Angelle's secret to a long life.
Swallow your soul.
Yeah, pretty much that. It's Preacher, Season 3, Episode 2. Sonsabitches. Hey everyone, D here, and welcome to this week's review of Preacher. So yes, of course, spoilers are ahead. And you can see, I got a new poster. Not quite as creepy as the other one, but man, that thing pops, doesn't it? Looks just like an old velvet painting. I just love the background, the kind of little fluorescent-y colors there. Man, it's just, that's not going to creep me out staring at me. So, good move, good move. Anyway, yes, so we are back into Angelville this week, of course, and finding a little bit more background, a little bit more of the specific history of Jessie. And I love how we had our little opening here back to Angelville High, back in the day when Jessie was just a young lad finding suckers for Granny. And really, and I love how sort of our science teacher sort of bookends the episode sort of perfectly, because we saw last week, we got, Grannie L'Angelle, she was getting her visitors, the tour was going on, she was making deals with people, sobriety spells, maybe a little bit of libido for the older folks there that might not be working just quite the same as things used to, which all seems kind of more on the positive end. Here we're seeing a bit more of the darker, seedier side of Grannie L'Angelle's business, and what Jessie's job was basically to bring people in. That seemed to be what his mom used to do before her unfortunate end. And then that sort of fell to Jessie, as he was to pull in new clients. And here, of course, like I said, the science teacher on the fast track to vice principal, just looking for a little help getting rid of some junior that's having sex. Just, look, automatically setting up this guy's a scumbag. And I sort of love that. But really we're talking about the price of not paying. And that kind of worked two ways. I mean, in some ways, I think we get a little insight into Jessie here as, yes, he is sort of the con man. He definitely has the lingo, the language, of speaking of Grannie L'Angelle in such high terms. But not necessarily happy with a lot of the clientels. Certainly was not very excited about hearing this junior, oh, she's not a girl, she's just a junior, she's under 18, man. That's wrong. Plus a student. A lot of levels of messed up stuff going on here. But when he doesn't make his payment and goes and gets jumped by Jessie and Jody there, which was funny, it sort of referred back to last week's scene where we had Jody on top of the back of the truck saying, just like old times, isn't it? Old times, I guess they had sort of switch position of chasing down people that didn't pay. Don't miss a payment. But when our science teacher tried to say, hey, it was this girl and she was begging for it, really see that anger coming out of Jessie. You can see how this ruffian still has a sense of properness. Why becoming a preacher, like his father was, is sort of a natural direction for him. So I kind of like that little bit of insight. Certainly the anger, certainly the volatility, which Jody was also sort of noting there. But really, like I said, this is all about the price of not paying. Pay and everything is fine. You don't pay, you miss a payment. It's not just your fingernails that you're going to lose. It is your soul. And that is what keeps Grannie L'Angelle nice and young. She's consuming other people's souls to refresh herself. Very nasty. But again, explains what happens to these people that have their souls stuck out. They're stuck down in the tombs, down in the basement there, which we had, what I believe was Grannie L'Angelle's old lover had escaped from at the beginning of the last episode. Now we get to step down underneath the locked hatch and find, well, at the end, as Jessie is cleaning up, doing his job, our science teacher popping out, help me. Can't, man. You got no soul. you missed a payment. You do not cross Grannie L'Angelle. Oh, and I do have to say, I love that whole last scene where he does go down in the tombs. Because again, not only do we have Cass and Tulip talking about, there's something dark with Jesse. You've seen the family here. This is where he was raised. And I also love that Tulip is still holding on to Jesse. Wasn't entirely sure when she woke up if she might be connected a bit more to Cass. They definitely have theirs. But she's not leaving Jesse for Cass. I mean, that's for sure. But they're talking about that darkness, and then we have that shot of him going through the darkness, through the night with the lantern, through the bayous of Louisiana. I mean, very creepy shots. And then opening up the chain thing and pulling it all up, and I loved how as it popped up, we had this sign appearing right there. Welcome to the tombs, a-hole. Yeah, it was just perfect. And then, yeah, like I said, just the whole darkness, the whole kind of creepy vibe as he's cleaning up. Why is he cleaning in this empty room? And the science teacher comes out, and of course, there's a lot more guys probably shuffling around down there, which is why he's cleaning up. Just their nastiness. Anyway, just beautifully shot. And Hairstar's journeys to India. I have to say, I love that little opening bit. Just as it was just sort of artistically, almost like a paper pop-up book. So it pops up in Krishna headquarters. You see the little guys, yay, we're doing our journeys up. We just thought that was beautifully done. Which, of course, leads to our Scene of the Week for this week, and that is the giant fight versus the Hare Krishnas. That was just awesome. I mean, a beautiful fight, wonderful slow-mo, total like Hong Kong, John Woo gunfighting action going on here. I love the flying guys, I love the moves, the slow motion, how Stars, even in the battle, it's like, I'll try to shoot you, but if not, I'll shoot through my own guys. Again, the quality of Hairstar, man, even his own guys can be sacrificed for the cause. And of course, you got the song in the background, gotta love one another right now. Just come on, people now, smile at me, brother. It's such a perfect offset to it. And then going up against our hippie Swami right there, we get sort of the perfect end. Takes out everyone. I mean, first of all, it's a gun battle between two religious organizations. Already hilarious. Everyone's down, and then the whole thing with the Swami. Threatens him to accept Humperdew. And of course, they still got to push as the Messiah. And I don't know, was it sort of a spell that the Swami was trying to do? I was like, is he trying to tap into God? Does he know that God's wrong? Is it a different God? I'm kind of curious where they're going with that. Not too far, as it just ends up being Hairstar doing a nut shot. Anyway, it was just very messed up. A messed up but beautiful scene, really perfectly in line with Hairstar's character and the way that they've established everything. And of course, I guess, given the choice of Humperdew or death, that choice is death. Now, I have to say, I was surprised that Tulip was able to jump into the revenge game so quick. I thought that may sort of drag out a little more. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the fight between her and Featherstone. Very appropriate. I'm glad Featherstone got her ass handed to her, for the most part. But that does set up that interesting conflict between Tulip and Jesse. Because, yes, Tulip wants revenge, sure. And, well, Cass, of course, wants whatever Tulip wants. Hopefully without Jesse around. But Jesse needs his soul back. Because that's why Genesis isn't working. And I wasn't sure if they were very clear with that last season. Because it seemed to just sort of sputter and die. That seemed afterwards. It seemed sort of separate incidents. But I guess maybe if it's sort of a, it's not working, it's just sort of a little cascading differences with the soul missing. It just sort of starts to sputter out. Which is what the sound was when Jesse has tried to use the voice, tried to use Genesis. Though I am curious if you guys thought so too. Did it sound like a dog barking? I mean, it's not just it was sort of sputtering, but it sounded like a dog barking. Which is funny with the whole dog god thing going on. But yeah, I guess so it's without his soul. That is why Genesis isn't working. So needs to make a deal with the Grail in order to get his soul back so that Genesis can work again. And I love that whole little back and forth with Hair Star also. Just because, I mean, one, I love the fact that they've got Cass and Tulip and Jody and TC doing a big battle out in the front to distract them all so that Jesse can go ahead and meet with Hair Star here. And just go off some part on Angelville or take a trip into town and do it. It's got to be right there, I guess. That's just sort of how it works. But again, I love how well Hair Star is written, how smart of a character that he is. Because, of course, we have Jesse's plan, like he shared with everyone. All right, get my soul back, get Genesis back, and then I have the power over everyone. We can kill them all and just move on with our happy lives. Though, obviously, the whole Grannie L'Angelle, I think, might be a little bit more complicated than just that. But he can't even get to that step because Hair Star already knows that's what he's going to try. And I did have one question with that scene, because it does seem that the voice works. I mean, from our end, this is just sort of an audience change that we get to hear the voice because Jesse thinks that it works. Now, I don't believe that it actually worked. My belief is that Hair Star was, in fact, faking that just to see how far Jesse was going to go. Just waiting for that juvenile betrayal spasm out of him. But it seemed like, sound-wise, it worked, and then it did that coffee thing afterwards. Now, maybe that's just because he was pushing it, and that's why it didn't work, because it sounded like it worked. Anyway, it was just kind of an interesting thing how it wasn't just not working there, but it sort of seemed to work. Well, it worked without power, I guess. I wasn't sure exactly how they were trying to portray that, but just kind of interesting. That was enough to activate it to make it seem like that it was going to work without actually going on. But I guess if you can make a synthetic soul, you can make it seem like the powers of God are working. Anyway, so of course that does lead Jesse to finally have to make a deal. Now, was he really making the deal, or was he just sort of faking along with it again just to get the rest of his soul back? I think a little bit more of the latter. But Tulip, who has been getting those little glimpses of dog all through the episode, which I thought was well done, finally gets revealed, or at least revealed to us what had happened. See, I remember last week we thought it was, is it get them, meaning Grannie L'Angelle, or get the, and then being cut off, which is comical for the all-powerful God to be cut off in the midst of a resurrection. But no, it was just an audience tell right there. Tulip was there for the rest of the message, though she may have temporarily forgotten it. That was cut off just for us, for the fun little comic moment, or to, again, stretch out what it is that Dog was asking for. What was that mission? And that mission was, get those Sonsabitches! Which is perfect. Which Sonsabitches? That, again, might be the question, and perhaps we will get a little bit more information as the rest of the season goes off, how long maybe that actual dog speech was. In this case, of course, we think that's an okay for Tulip's revenge, who already thinks at this point that Jesse must have betrayed and decide that he is going to be the Messiah and screw them, and she does not want any of that, so bada 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 bada, which of course stops Jesse just in time, as things often go, from getting his soul just out of reach. So yeah, and I think like Hair Star said, he's going to let him sweat for a little while. It's going to be a while before that offer is back on the table. But what that scene also does show us is what is the power that Grannie L'Angelle has over Jesse. And I'm not sure this is the only one. But certainly the blood on the little handkerchief that he had to cut. Why the hand? It's always, man, people are going to cut tendons doing like that. Ugh. The cut of the hand down onto the little handkerchief, though, but with her sort of magic voodoo powers, squeezing the handkerchief, squeezes the throat. Can't run if you can't breathe. So, yeah, that's definitely what is tying Jesse to Grannie L'Angelle, but, like I said, I don't think that is the only one. And if he did have Genesis and was able to kill Grannie L'Angelle, I think that might tie in. We've had a few chats down in the comments. Is that going to take out Jesse if Grannie L'Angelle dies or betrays? Or kill Grannie L'Angelle? Does that kill Tulip? Are they linked? Interesting thoughts. All right, just a couple of small things. One, I love Cass bonding with TC, or trying to ignore TC. You like backgammon? No. You like gummy bears? No. You like drugs? Well, that got Cass's attention, which is good because there's still a lot of animosity going on between him and Jesse. I love the little sequences where they're trying to get rid of each other. Either through Tulip or just each other. Yeah, we're good, we're fine, yeah, you can leave now. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of that, at least over the next few episodes. Though, of course, I hope it does settle itself out because I love this trio together and the infighting isn't as much fun. Oh, and of course, yes, in addition to The Big Lebowski, the Coen Brothers did direct 1990's Miller's Crossing, which is a very dark film in many points. But that shouldn't be surprising because the Coen Brothers also directed Fargo, which was a beautiful reference right after they're having that discussion. He's talking all about the Coen Brothers and Miller's Crossing, and where do they take him to? The organ grinder, which is a perfect reminiscent scene of the wood chipper that Steve Buscemi gets sort of shoved into at the end of Fargo. Spoilers if you haven't seen that movie. It was a long time ago. And that consomme, that was nasty. Certainly got Cass's attention. It seems like the kind of meal that he would have. Not Tulip, though. I don't think heating it is going to really make it safer or tastier or anything. TC checks Granny's colostomy bag by sniffing it and can determine whether or not her serotonin or protein levels are off. Man, it's a messed up family. I love how the Grail card says secret organization underneath it. The Grail, secret organization. Where offices are in New Orleans. Okay, I like Cass's traveling hat, but his hands aren't protected at all. I think he'd at least be wearing gloves from a visual standpoint. I mean, even if he was laying down after he got shot, he just tilts the hat and his hands are still like cross-sitting on top of his chest. I don't know, maybe he's got SPF 5000 or something on, but yeah, that was a little distracting. And souls are apparently chewy. I did not know that. Oh, and the RC bomb, come on, that was awesome, especially the Polaroid. Grannie L'Angelle has a very loud message for you, just him flipping them off. It was just, and boom. Come on, that's awesome. All right, well, I think that pretty much covers everything. Oh, and a quick announcement. I'm doing a couple of season review podcasts over at a couple of other channels this week. Monday night, July 2nd, that would be tonight, I guess, for you guys, if you see this immediately. I'm going to be doing Season 2 of Westworld over on Acton Tamco's channel. That's going to be 5 p.m. Pacific. It's going to be a live stream, chat, answering questions, going over. There's going to be a bunch of us chatting, so should be a blast if you have a few mind warp moments from Westworld, which would not be surprising. And then later on this week, Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific, over at Enchantment of Eternity, I'm going to be talking about Season 3 of The Expanse, which was just amazing this season. Really, it's been doing, every season has just gotten better and better. And of course, Season 4 has been picked up over on Amazon. Now, yes, I haven't been doing reviews of The Expanse here. It's one too many shows, there's too many that I could do, but we will be going all over Season 3 this Friday at Enchantment of Eternity at 7 p.m. And I'll go ahead and throw links down in the description below as soon as I get them, and I'll tweet them out also if you are subscribed to my Twitter feed. So, that's what I'm doing this week. Let's wrap things up for here. Thank you so much for joining me, and if you like this review, you know, the like button. You could go ahead and hit that. Thoughts, ideas, comments, please put them down in the section below. You can always catch me on Twitter and Instagram. I am at Darren Jakes, which is where, of course, I'll set up links and in the description below for these season reviews this week. Subscribe. Hey, we've got a whole season, man. This is just episode 2. Got a whole bunch of Preacher coming up. Plus, we've got The Gifted coming up this fall. A few more things. I got to see how it all lands. I will put out a video later on in the summer as soon as I know for sure. But you won't want to miss any of those reviews. You won't. If you're a subscriber, do that by clicking this button right here. And I'll go up and throw a couple of randomized reviews right here you can go ahead and check out. So, that's going to be it for me. I'm D, and I'm out of here. Catch you guys next time. Bye-bye.